this renter. I would like things to stay neat and orderly. And she says, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't live up to your standards. Man, she's like a teenager. She's middle-aged or later, and she's like a teenager. And, you know, to me, heaven is clean order. Hell is dirty disorder. What do you want to reflect? Heaven or hell? I mean, I say, well, look, I can't control what happens inside the house, but on the outside, I had things really nice, you know, black iron benches and just perfect and neat. She has a bunch of crap out there, vacuum cleaners, and please, can you put things away? Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, I don't know. I guess we just can't impose on other people. They have to stay slobs. But it really bugs me. To myself, I may have even said it. I feel like I'm dealing with a teenager. Her rebelliousness, her inability to be corrected and stay neat and orderly. That's all I ask. Please be neat and orderly. I can't stand chaos. It makes me crazy. And, you know, age has nothing to do with maturity. I used to think old people were not evil. No. Age has nothing to do with maturity. You have mature young people and you have extremely immature old people until the day they die. We got to get things straight. All the people who bugged me in Borrego Springs, I suddenly realized that they were karma for me. I had probably imposed on people, I'm sure I did in my immaturity. I probably drove people crazy and, yeah, tried to use them. I don't know. When I was young, I suppose I did. And these people were my karma. If you have people bugging you and making you crazy, think back. Are they your karma for the way you acted? Because I don't have that now, except for this one renter who doesn't pay rent. She's probably my karma, or maybe my way of becoming even more austere and mature. You never know why God puts things in your path. He puts obstacles in your path to overcome. And if they don't kill you, they make you better and stronger. And I guess ultimately we have to thank God for them. But overcome them anyway. You get clear on the diet of fruits, greens, nuts, and seeds. You will notice that your cats and dogs look at you differently. They can sense auras. They can sense you're different. When you're chaotic or addicted or into things you shouldn't, they may avoid you. They can sense the mixed up vibrations of adults. So can children. But when you get clear, your cats and dogs will just stare at you. It's very interesting how aware these pets are. And I want you to become very aware of them, as I know you probably already are, to really empathize and love them. They are our therapy. Pets and music are our therapy. And I hope this channel for you. I would like to discuss the ontologically fatal insight. Ontology is how we know the world, our reality. The ontologically fatal insight is the shock somebody has when the world is not what they thought it was, like a bombed out city. It just precedes psychotic shock, is this new awareness. Well, I had that when I went away to graduate school and took on a new theory and saw things differently and grew up. And then I went back home again. It's like I didn't recognize them. They were all strangers to me. It was scary. It was one of the scariest things there ever was, because I was temporarily dependent on them. I had to go back home and had two older sisters who hated me. That was the Cinderella syndrome. And they were liberals. They went to liberal universities, Stanford, and I was very conservative. I always have been. I've been conservative since age 12 when I read Taylor Caldwell. ceremony of the innocent. I read that and I became a Christian. I became totally conservative. Anyway, when I went away to the university, I even got more that way. I saw human systems theory, sick systems. I saw higher consciousness, the herd, social psychology. I mean, I saw everything differently. And how I adapted as a child came into conflict with that. I came back totally different. And there was this total clash, let's call it culture clash, between me and my family. I did not recognize them, except for my dear old dad, who loved me nevertheless. The whole family was ruled by women. And you know how I feel about women. They can be the worst when they get into power. Look at the concentration camp guards who were women. They tortured their prisoners, much worse than the men. And they were sadistic. The whole family was ruled by women, older sisters, mother, aunt. And my father was docile, locking himself in his room every afternoon away from my mother, who would go knock, knock, knock. Remember when you did this and remember when you did that. And he was on my side, but he had no power. The women had the power. It was a total matriarchy, and they were all against me. It was a frightening experience, the ontologically fatal insight, that how I had adapted as a child, and now I saw things completely differently, and I was totally at odds with my family, and still am. We never really spoke again. Most of them have died or are in a rest home, you know. But this is what happened. It really isn't about them, the players. It's about principalities and powers in heaven. It's about good and evil. It's about culture clash. They were liberal feminists. Oh, how they saw the world. Man, and they would gossip to other people. There was no loyalty in the family at all. They would just spread the most slanderous stories about me to everybody else, not just the extended family, but neighbors or anybody who would listen, to get them against me. And when I went to a new town hoping to separate from all that, they planted evil seeds there by calling the major store owners, and it was a small town, and they were able to plant evil seeds before I even got there. And people thought, well, it must be true. These are her older sisters. They must be telling the truth. It's 2 against 1. And they assumed it was true. This was the most traumatic time of my life. And I got my Ph.D. in human systems theory, psychology, but I got my real education after that in dealing with family. The toxic family, the sick family system. And I wrote books on it, 100 books as a matter of fact. And it became a major theory. So you see, what the devil meant for bad, God turned around for good. But it was hard getting through it. Eating habits as well. Do you think I'd go out and have a double cheeseburger and french fries? It would make me look terrible and be crazy in the head. I mean, I'm very sensitive with multiple chemical sensitivities, and I can't just eat like that. Again, it's compensatory. The diet, fruitarianism, I feel is perfect for man, so I'm going to be on it. I'm going to take advantage of everything I can that God gave us to compensate for this evil, crazy world we have to adapt to. I don't want to be part of it. It's disorderly. It's unclean. It's mean. It's dirty. I want to be opposite to that. I once read about the Puritans. The reason they were so austere and into tidy houses and everything was the world outside was so chaotic. In old England, 18th century England, the vagabonds were coming in and the serfs from the fields, and the cities filled up like they are now in Europe, with not graffiti, but just chaos. So the Puritans were an adaptation to that, and their life became the opposite, totally austere, no drinking, no fornicating, because people were fornicating in the streets. It was so immoral, drunken fornication in the streets. So they were a break-off that was the opposite to that, compensatory. And I can see that's the same thing that happened in my life. I broke off, separated from culture totally, and compensated with what I see as the most superior diet for man, plus daily fasting. Because I want to overcome this world. I don't want to reflect it. I want to win out over it. And I think to become rich, you got to become small. Not braggadocio, but become small, because then God will become large. Pray to Him. In our weakness, He becomes strong. Not do it yourself, but become weak and pray to Him, and He'll be strong and make you rich. So I said to this woman, I really like neat orderliness. I can't control what goes on inside your house, but please, I had the outside so nice, with iron benches and colorful chairs and everything just neat. Oh, I'm so sorry I don't live up to your standards, like a teenager. I mean, this woman is middle-aged. I'm amazed. That sounds like something a teenager would say to the mother. Instead of being corrected, people can't stand being corrected. They take it as an insult. Oh well, I guess I have to put up with it, but I sure don't have to like it. So that's the all in the all. Stick to the diet. When you go out during the day and your friends want to have a double cheeseburger and greasy French fries and all that, just look at them and feel superior if that helps you. Don't become part of the mess. Fast during the day. Have your fruit in the morning. I suggest a fruit smoothie with greens in it and tahini, some nut butter. There you have fruit, greens, nuts, and seeds. Then you can have your other fruits. Corn, peas, rice, and beans. Those are fruits. Look it up. I like tortillas and refried beans, non-fat, and salsa. Those are all fruits. And then I'm done for the day. Clean the kitchen. Immaculate. Make everything immaculate. Then do your video or whatever work you do. Clean the house. Feed the pets. Do everything in the morning. Now you have the rest of the day free. I recommend getting up around between 1 and 3 in the morning. So you have an extended morning for your work and your smoothie, enjoying it, and just have a happy life. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, drugs, pot. Avoid all that. Avoid tasty, unnatural foods. Avoid socializing. It's a waste of time. Put boundaries so that people can't come and waste your time, drop in, because they're bored and lonely and they want to hang out in your house because it's neat and orderly and theirs isn't. Forget all that. Now, expand your talents. Now, look forward to all the money you're going to make because you're in line with God and you're doing what He wants you to do. As He said, He has plans to prosper you. Take that literally. One of the worst parts of this episode was I was married at the time, and he started drinking again at that time. We got along so well for 3 years. He looked like a god. We were so happy. We were in love, and we were separate. It was just him and I up in a penthouse, working out the theory. It was so great. But when we went back to my family temporarily, he started drinking again. This is the interaction between addictions and sick family systems. To adapt to my family, he started drinking again, became a totally different person, as alcohol does, evil, and went on their side against me. And then they started bribing him. With my money, they got a hold of my finances and started bribing him with my money, and he totally went on their side. So it was all these women against me and Jimmy Boy, as he was when he was drinking. He regressed into an ogre. He looked 20 or 30 years older. That's what alcohol does. He became regressed to lower levels. He was no longer exalted. He was just dumbed down by them and became part of the herd of that family. So there you have the interaction of alcoholism and sick family systems. What a nightmare. And there was nothing I could do to get him back. His mistress was alcohol. He had returned to his former drinking career before I met him. He had drank all his life. I didn't know that. I mean, he was a Mormon missionary. How did I know? He was part of a big Mormon family, apostolic. But he was the Jack Mormon. He was the scapegoat, not the scapegoat, but the black sheep of that family. And he had gone to a Mormon mission to Japan and all these things. But that doesn't matter. He was still an alcoholic. It was genetic. And once he got a taste of that, he just drank wine all day long. He'd wake up, as a wino does, and start drinking all day long, start insulting me. And I thought, man, he's so different. It was like black and white. He was so different. Just as I felt about my family, so different. I felt like I was a stranger in a strange land. And of course, he also planted evil seeds about me to everywhere, as the alcoholic does, to justify their own behavior. I wanted him to stop drinking. He compensated with that by spreading evil stories about me. That's what happens to the wife of the alcoholic. Now, I won't say I was like a saint, because I maladapted to all this. The biggest maladaptation of the wife of the alcoholic is to get drunk herself. I mean, and everybody says, well, she's the alcoholic. She's the savage, not him, because a lot of alcoholics are brilliant social manipulators. They're very nice to everybody else but their wife in public. So everybody thinks, well, he's so nice, it couldn't be him. It's got to be her. She's the wild going crazy. And I was going crazy. I felt like I was in a mental asylum. These people I had trusted became like demons. I could write books on this, and I have a library of books on sick human systems theory, scapegoatism, alcoholism as a family disease, the wife of the alcoholic syndrome, or the wife of the gambler, the wife of the neurotic, the wife of the drug addict. I mean, it's all the same thing. A dysfunctional family system. This was part of the extreme climate I adapted to, and it made me very neat and orderly. I think if you have chaos in the environment, a compensatory gesture is to become neat and orderly yourself, or you could just give up and just reflect it, become a slob. But people were talking against me, and I was trying to convince them, it's not me, it's him. And so I became extremely orderly, everything neat, and in the kitchen immaculate in the morning. So if anybody dropped by, they wouldn't blame me. I was so used to being blamed for everything. I mean, everything was my fault in this era. I mean, nothing I could do could change people's perceptions. This was such a rock-solid thing. When you're trapped in a sick system, it's darn hard to get over it. And if they have you pegged a certain way, only the most discrepant evidence will change their mind. They just see you that way. So I became an immaculate housekeeper as a compensatory gesture. And so this was the mountain I had to climb. And as I said yesterday, if adverse circumstances don't kill you, they only make you greater. In overcoming bad situations, you become stronger. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. Bad times create strong men. It's all adaptation. And I had so much to adapt to, but you see, I kept these habits, becoming perfect, at least in housekeeping, in order to compensate. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for the obstacles that I overcame that made me stronger.